Hello, my name is Swoon. Welcome. I'm doing something that I haven't done before, but it was on my mind for a couple years to do something like this, but I never got around to it because I've been way too busy. So, we're gonna do it this year. You've already seen the title. It's my favorite media of this year. First up, with movies, Godzilla x Kong. I haven't seen a Godzilla movie since Shin Godzilla, and because Hollywood keeps pumping out Godzilla and Kong movies, I hadn't kept up with any of them. And Viola was like, I really want to go see this, and I was like, okay. And then I saw some stuff online about how Godzilla powers up like Goku with the Kaioken form, and I was like, okay, that seems like a really cool idea. Let's see what this is about then. And then the movie starts inside Hollow Earth, and I just died laughing in the movie theater. And I'm like, what am I watching? Hollow Earth is the stupidest fucking thing I've heard of. But besides that, oh my god, this movie was so much fun. I don't have much else to say. If you haven't seen it, this is huge 2 thumbs up. Go see this movie. Next up, this came out last year, but I'm including it because my god, I loved it. I'd been looking forward to -1. Since it was rumored to be in production around 2019 or 2020 or something, and then it had to be delayed on release or whatever because of the timing for only one Godzilla movie a year. I don't know, I don't care, but Jesus, this movie was good. I can't overstate that. The character writing did so much work. The post World War I setting, the effects of Godzilla just coming in, every time Godzilla was on screen, it was this presence, this huge pressure on everybody and everything in the scene. Godzilla isn't something that is just oh, there's Godzilla in this movie. Godzilla is just this presence. It's a cycle. It's this natural disaster just showing up, and you're like, oh my god, okay, we got it. This is happening, and then you just have to brace yourself. Some of the set pieces, just the way it was shot, out in the Pacific Ocean, is beautiful. I don't know what it is. Something about the look of the ocean in this movie is so pretty, and I don't know if it's just because we see a whole lot of CG water nowadays, or if it's because the Pacific Ocean is just that pretty and people don't turn the saturation up high enough to see how beautiful it is, but I don't know. This movie was wonderful. Totally, you need to see it if you haven't. Next up is Venom 3. I had a lot of fun with this movie. It wasn't the best movie, but it was silly, and I was a little disappointed that they hinted that there might be some MCU stuff, but then immediately Eddie Brock was put back into his own universe, which I guess is for the better. There's still that bit of Venom that was left in the MCU timeline universe, however you want to consider it. But besides that, it was a lot of fun. The villain, the whole thing about where Venom came from and how they locked up the guy or whatever, I don't know. I don't know. Venom movies are the best thing that Sony's doing besides the Spider-Verse, and it's hard to say that it's incredible. It just does what it had been doing, and it worked. Pretty good movie. Also, these aren't ranked in any certain order besides the last 1 or 2. They're just however I organized them. Next up is Ultraman, the Netflix movie that came out. This was I didn't know much about Ultraman, and I didn't know what I was expecting when I went in to watch it, but it was, just go watch this movie. This is a total, like, one thumbs up. Like, you gotta, if you haven't seen this, find a friend who has Netflix, ask them to put it on. It was worth a watch. It's not like the best movie ever. Ultraman has a really good arc. The baby kaiju is a superhero that can like turn big having to take care of a baby kaiju is so unique. Like, I don't know what else to say. Go watch this if you have the means. Next up, everybody, this is gonna be contentious. Joker 2. I didn't see this in theaters, but I did see it. I paid like $5 or whatever to watch it on Amazon. I don't know why people didn't like this movie. To me, it felt like it was doing the same thing that the first movie did, but I'm not going to argue with anybody. If you didn't like it, you didn't like it. I grabbed this image specifically because this is pretty much how I feel about the movie. I was just like, yeah, this is the Joker again. Like, so much of the first movie took place in his mind, and so much of this movie is also taking place in his mind. I don't know. I also didn't feel like it was a musical. Like, there was lots of music in it, but for it to be a musical, like, the music needs to carry scenes through an arc, whereas the music in this sort of just stopped the movie to just have the music happen. A lot of people said that that's like the same sort of problem that that Disney movie, The Princess and the Frog had. I haven't seen The Princess and the Frog, but if you watch enough musicals like Reefer Madness from like the late 90s or early 2000s, or Repo the Genetic Opera, those are like some of my favorites. It just felt like a movie that had music. Like, similar to how, like, the Mario movie or the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, like, how those just have music injected into them to have, like, the audience be like, oh, I recognize that, and then, like, draw on, like, another, like, one or two demographics that'll be like, oh, well, this has one of my favorite songs in it. I don't know. It's a decent movie. I'm not saying it was fantastic or that people need to go watch it. If you don't like it, I completely understand. It had different direction, but I still feel like it was doing the same thing. I have mixed feelings about the ending. I wish he had an ego death instead of a physical death. I feel like that would have been a better arc for the Joker instead of just dying. I don't know, that just made a really tragic, like, person and a tragic story and this tragic struggle come to, like, a pathetic whimper of an end. Like, that's, like, my main thing about the movie is that I didn't like. Which is why I don't think that I would suggest people go see it. Especially since it's already like a really contentious movie. But yeah, Joker 2 was fine. Let's move on to the next one, which is also a little contentious. I watch Beetlejuice, if not every year, like every other year. So when they announced that Beetlejuice was being made, oh man, I was so excited. I also watched the Nickelodeon Beetlejuice show as a kid, where Beetlejuice was more like friends with Lydia, and like they sort of helped each other with their problems rather than Beetlejuice just being this demonic force trying to one-up and gain something from the living. I think it did good. I think it set up some things. I don't know, it's hard to say because like the first movie didn't get like super into the afterlife. I mean, it had a whole lot of the afterlife, but also it didn't. I feel like there were rules in the first movie, and they just expanded them a tiny bit for this movie, and they didn't really break anything from the first movie. It just has the same sort of quirkiness. What am I saying? This movie was fine. Michael Keaton coming back was just so good. One of the silliest things in this movie was Michael Keaton just like showing his age a little bit. Like how in the first movie he would like pop up behind somebody like really fast. In this one, he like slowly crept into frame, like, hey babes, and then like, also he just sounded a little tired, which is completely understandable. I mean, you know, the actors are getting older. Lydia was really good, and then Astrid also was a really strong character. I think doing the generational thing with the Dietz was probably the strongest part of the movie. I really feel like the setup for the ghost boy that Astrid was wanting to date or whatever was really well done. I feel like it could have been tied into what was going on a little bit better, but I don't know. It was a whole lot of fun. I don't know what else to say. It's a Beetlejuice movie. It's about a goofy fucking demon like acting like a car salesman trying to get something, you know, trying to like make a contract where he comes out with like way more than he should. I don't know. If you take it too seriously, you're gonna have a bad time. That's about it. You know. On to the next one. Blood and Honey 2. I don't like horror movies, but these are so silly. I'm so excited. Listen. I am legitimately so excited for the Pooniverse. This is the silliest set of horror movies ever. If Mickey Mouse ever stops being copyright, I hope they put him in this too. Like, I swear to God, Owl, like, doing his thing, like, Pooh and Piglet back, actual with, like, actual, like, prosthetics instead of just, like, Halloween store masks. They were so fucking good. And then Tigger. At every chance, Tigger is just like, bitch. And then he, like, claws people and shit, and then he's like, bitch. And then they go into the dance scene. There were scenes in this movie. I don't know how they got from A to B, why they were in a dance club, why they were where they were, like how they like got from, I don't know. It's just, the movie goes, people die, and you're like, these are Winnie the Pooh characters. This is so fucking silly. And they've got a budget now. I hope they keep going. I hope they keep going so much. Oh, I need to check something. Hang on one second. Forgot about something. I want to include Five Nights at Freddy's. This came out last year. I saw it in theaters last year. I watched it again this year. I don't care. I'm including it, just like I did with Godzilla Minus One. This was fantastic. It wasn't even like that much of a horror movie. It was more like it was like horror adjacent, I would say. Like, it had the moments where like the security guard at the beginning like got Spoogeldorfed, and then like the people that were trying to break in and steal shit, they also got Spoogeldorfed. But something about it reminds me of like 90s like spooky movies, like Hocus Pocus, because like there were horror elements in that, even though like it wasn't like super like scary stuff, you know, like when the witch like is like, dance until you die, and then like the parents are all just like dancing, and then like hours later they're still dancing and they're like, oh my god, you know, like that's like the same like level of like, oh my god. Maybe I'd even consider like The Craft like in the same vein of like spooky movie with like some sort of message to tell by the end. I don't know. Five Nights at Freddy's. I can't wait for the second one. My goodness, I can't wait for the second one. Even though it's just silly animatronic movie. Next up is Furiosa. I forgot this came out this year until I was talking to Viola about the movies I should include. which is really unfortunate because I loved this movie. I'm just too busy to remember everything that happens in a year. That's pretty much like the only thing I can say about it. The movie was fantastic. Chris Hemsworth with like doing his Australian accent and the prosthetic nose. Oh my gosh. And seeing some of the events that happened before Mad Max, it was just so good. If you slept on this movie, you need to go see it. It was incredible. What's the guy's name? George Miller? Yeah, George Miller. He has a very clear vision for his world and his stories, and he executes them with a level and precision that I don't know, it's hard to look at other movies and be like, oh, this is only this one thing. Like, it's not, you couldn't mistake this for anything else. It's fantastic. This is pure cinema. I don't know. It was really good. Definitely worth seeing, especially if you liked Mad Max, Fury Road. Because the crazy thing is, like, when you go back and watch Fury Road, a bunch of the events that they talk about with like the bullet farm and everything, it's just like it's felt like these throwaway lines back in 2016 or whenever Mad Max came out, 2017, 18. And then to see it all happen, it's like, oh, these are like tangible, real things that actually impacted what happened later on. I don't know. Go see it. How do you not like a really well-built prequel? Deadpool and Wolverine. I love this movie so much. Deadpool 2 was like I still liked it, I still enjoyed it, but just Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds being free to like dig his fingers into the Marvel universe. I'm really glad that I finished watching Loki season 2 before watching this. I didn't even know that it was gonna have TVA stuff. I just thought that I just loved the Loki Disney Plus show. Loki isn't like my favorite like MCU character, but the way that they handled him just vanishing with the Tesseract in the original Avengers movie, and then like giving that Loki an entire plot line, it was just so good. And then to acknowledge the events of Loki and be like, oh, you know, that one asshole guy being like, oh, we used to just prune them because dying universes, blah, 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 dying timelines, blah, 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 whatever. I don't know, it's so good. And then also a lot of people were like, oh, but Logan, blah, blah, blah. I loved Logan. That movie came out in 2016. It's been 8 years. What they did at the beginning, I think, was the fact that Deadpool is from the same timeline as Logan, as the Logan movie. Is it? That's one thing that's a little bizarre to me. I don't know, because that seemed like futuristic. I don't want to think too hard about it. It's a fucking comic book movie. And they brought back Hugh Jackman. That's the thing that I'm trying to get to. They did a great job. The goofy dance using all the bones in the human body was the best thing they could have done. And for him to act like, it felt like seeing him at the beginning of the X-Men movies again. Just like he's this guy who just doesn't want to be bothered, who just wants to drink and like get the fuck out of my way. And when I was a wee lass, when I was a small child, I saw the X-Men movie, and something about like Wolverine and Rogue in that first X-Men movie just like really resonated with me, and I was like, wow, this is so cool. And I just remember, like, that was one of the first times that I, like, saw, like, behind the scenes stuff, and I was like, I don't understand what... You mean they didn't just do this and, like, they had, like, the 3D animation of Wolverine, like, doing his claw thing around the Statue of Liberty's, like, head spike thing? And I was like, oh my god, they did that and it looks that, like, it was just him? Oh my god. And just, like, Tiny Swoon was just, like, mind blown. And I really loved those first 3 X-Men movies, up to the Dark Phoenix, I want to say it was. That was the 3rd one. And then they started, like, doing all these offshoots. And at that point, it just, like, fell off. I was like, okay, this isn't, like, the X-Men movies that I was enjoying anymore. And then there were, like, the Wolverine movies where his claws looked like fucking plastic butter knives. And it was like, what is happening? And then somewhere along the line, I saw one of the X-Men movies where there was, like, time travel shit. I did not keep up. And then I saw Ryan Reynolds, like, original Deadpool performance where he had his mouth sewn shut or whatever, and I didn't understand at the time who Deadpool was or why that was a tragedy. But man, those first 3 X-Men movies were so special to me. I think it's because I also watched, I really loved the X-Men TV show. And I was really excited. I think the only thing that I was excited for was the rumors of a Gambit movie. And so for Gambit to just show up in this movie also, there were so many callbacks. This movie did so much. God, the Fantastic Four, instead of Avengers Assemble, he says Flame On. And I was in the movie theater and I screamed, and Viola was like, what? I was like, they fucking did it! Oh my god. Deadpool and Wolverine was the movie that the MCU and the X-Men needed. I really hope the X-Men get to flourish in the MCU at this point. It's been way too long coming. Or maybe I'm just hoping that there'll be a fresh coat of paint on X-Men and it'll just pop off in the same way that the original 3 did. I don't know. I don't know what I'm hoping for, but this movie was everything that I could have wanted. What a good movie. But the movie of the year for me, this is definitely the top movie for me, was Sonic 3. Every time I go live on Twitch or YouTube, my intro is Live and Learn. The ways they changed the story to fit to be a movie instead of a video game, I feel were really well done. I don't know what to say. This movie was everything that I wanted. Jim Carrey acted his ass off in one scene. Actually, I'd say, like, he acted his ass off the entire movie. One scene, he, like, definitely, I don't know, he deserves, like, some sort of reward for that scene. But the entire movie, just him constantly talking to himself. It's like they looked at everything that Jim Carrey has ever done and been like, okay, with me, myself, and Irene, he can, like, do stuff where he's just, like, talking to himself. Great. With some of his darker performances, like Eternal Spotlight, like, he can have, like, serious moments. From, like, the Ace Ventura or the Liar Liar days, he can pop off about something and also crack jokes with a serious face. And it was so well done. Keanu Reeves being Shadow was so perfect. And some of the interviews with him just being like, yeah, I really wanted to respect the character. You know, I saw fan reactions when Shadow was revealed at the end of 2, and I just really wanted to make sure that I made the audience proud, you know, that I really brought Shadow to life in the way that he deserves. And like I just appreciate that so much. And then of course Ben Schwartz as Sonic again did fantastic. Idris Elba is so funny as Knuckles. This movie is everything I could have wanted out of a Sonic movie. Yep. Definitely the best movie. And it's crazy. I'm a Sonic fan, but I'm not like a crazy Sonic fan. I just really love Battle Adventure 2. You know? Sonic Adventure 2 was so good. And this was so well done. So well done. Let's move on to anime, shall we? Nokotan! Brain rot. I loved it. I laughed so much. Bashame is my favorite little gremlin from this anime. Just her always on the side being like talking about rice and how she's hungry. All of the deer jokes, all of the rice crackers. Nokotan constantly pulling the top of her head off. I don't know. This is the silliest anime. I don't know what to say. Besides, it was fantastic. It was a nice light romp. Next up is Suzume. This movie's good. I don't have a whole lot of critique for it. It was just good. It seemed a little... It was good. It was good. The visuals are breathtaking. I'm one of the minority that believes that Weathering with You, Tenki no Ko, was the best of these movies made by this director. I can't remember his name for the life of me, but boy oh boy, when you see one of his movies, you know that it's one of his movies. It was beautiful. The animation, the music, the voice acting, you know, it all just comes together to make a wonderful, wonderful movie. Next up is Yuri Is My Job. I'm bringing it up because it's Yuri, but God, it's not Yuri. Ugh. There's a problem with manga and anime where lesbians are painted in this light of like being coercive to try to trick girls who could be bi or have never explored their sexuality into being gay. And I don't like that. And Yuri Is My Job is another one of those. It was fine. It was cute. It was definitely cute. The main character is very cute. She's a bit of a tsundere, but every time there's like a situation where it's like, oh, you didn't know, it's your job, you gotta pretend that you love this girl, and then like they start forming feelings, and it's like, okay, if this was a guy, would you have like still fallen in love, or is it really because you're gay? This is why I love Yuri manga more than I like any sort of shoujo ai or Yuri anime, because a lot of times they don't animate the good stuff. Eventually I'll start making videos about the good Yuri manga, but for now, if you want to see cute girls doing cute things and kind of being gay and getting really bashful over really simple things, go watch Yuri Is My Job. It was fine. It wasn't great, but it did pretty okay. Next, the Hashira training arc. I just love Demon Slayer. I can't what do you do? It wasn't like the best Demon Slayer, but the way that it ended, oh my god, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. That's all that I'm gonna say. Demon Slayer, everybody loves it. If you don't love it, what are you doing with your life? Do you like anything? Next, mysterious disappearances. I forgot that my wife and I were watching this, so we only watched a few episodes, but I loved it. I can't give a full analysis or anything, but it was fantastic the way that it started, and I wouldn't be surprised, given how the writing was early on, that they would have been able to stick the landing with wherever the story was going to go. Dan to Dan, everybody's favorite of the season. Well, what do you say? The animation, the romance, the colors, the writing, the characters, the way everything interacts with one another, the way that the trope that I hate the most, where like somebody will misinterpret something and then like it'll just stagnate. That shit doesn't happen in this. Love it. Oh my god. It was fantastic. Not my favorite of the year, but hold on. There's a whole lot of other anime that came out this year. It was definitely like number 2. Dan to Dan was so good. God, it was so good. Next up, I need to talk about One Piece. I have been watching One Piece over the past 2 years, and I'm on like episode 750 something or 760 something. I finished Dressrosa, and dear God, Oda can tell a fucking story. As I was looking for these pictures, it seemed like some people didn't like Dressrosa. I don't know why, but that's fine. I don't care. I'm not here to try to convince anybody of anything. I'm just going to talk about how well Oda set up these 150 episodes or something. And it didn't lollygag. After Punk Hazard, like, you just, like, get in there and keep going. And you learn about the town, Toy Soldier, all this crazy shit, what Doflamingo's been up to. Like, it's all slowly fed to you. You find out about the history. Usopp's shot? Oh my god. The manga could have ended if Usopp wasn't such a badass motherfucker. I cannot. That is the single most important point of Dressrosa. I have never been more proud of Usopp in this fucking show. Oh. Luffy, Gear 4? It was goofy, but Jesus was it cool. Law? Oh my god. Law? Our Bartolomeo, the new friend of the Straw Hats. Oh my god, he's so goofy, and I'm so happy he's in the show. I was thinking back in the Marineford arc, when Luffy broadcast like him going to pay his respects to show 3D 2Y. I was thinking like there have gotta be people who are going to be just like outright fans of the Straw Hats at this point. You don't pull a badass stunt like that and then not end up with fans, right? Kinemon, just being along for the ride and like being pivotal also. And then Tanjiro, just this kabuki-looking motherfucker showing up, and you're like, what's going on? This man is like has his own story, and he's just trotting along for a moment with the Straw Hats. What? I can't wait for Wano. I cannot wait for Wano. Oh my god, it's gonna be so good. What the fuck was this guy's name? He had the horse. He was a pretty knight guy. What the fuck was his name? Cabbage? Cabbage. Luffy kept calling him Cabbage, so I'm gonna call him Cabbage also. Cavendish, that's right. He was surprisingly... they're just well written. They're well written. I don't know what else to say. They're so good. and the dwarves, the fairies, as the people Dressrosa thought they were, the whole town just ending up in rubble by the end. I don't even have a picture of him. But the admiral guy, the blind admiral guy, Aokiji? I don't think that's the right one. I can't remember any of their names. The admirals are just all these like crazy powerful people to me at this point, where I'm like, you know, I can visualize all their faces, but I don't know any of their names. He was so fucking cool. Dude, I still don't know what his devil fruit power is. His gum power. I don't know what his devil fruit power is. I just presume that it's something to do with gravity. How else do you call meteors? How else do you cause like this crazy pressure to just happen, or to cause people to? I don't know. That's what I presume is fantastic. Robin had her moment. Oh my god. Sabo? Oh. Oh my god. The setup and the payoff when Luffy was drawn to Dressrosa for the flame fruit, I was like, realistically, there's two people that could take this fruit. Zoro, even though he doesn't want it, or Sabo, even though he's dead. So Zoro's probably gonna have it. Luffy's gonna win it, and then Zoro will probably be convinced to eat it. And then Sabo shows up, and my mind is blown. I'm like, what? Sabo! Oh my god! Oh my god! And Luffy's just like, and then he has to tell everybody, oh yeah, I have another brother. And then everybody's like, what? Oh, and how it's all interconnected back to Dragon and like the world government and the resistance and all this shit. I'm so... Oda? The world building, Jesus. Oh god, it's so good. Next up is Delicious in Dungeon. This was such a good and such a comfortable anime. It was like, the world building was so good. Just that you gotta figure out how to survive in a dungeon, what you can and can't eat. Every episode was just a masterpiece. I love this anime. I love this anime so much. I can't wait for more. I watched it in English, so Pro ZD, being Senshi was just fantastic. Everybody else's performances were great. Yeah, I don't got much else to say. I want them to reach the bottom and fight the mage and get back Marcel's girlfriend. That's all that I want. Oh, God, I love this. Okay, next. Girls Band Cry. I've only watched a few episodes of this so far. I forgot that it was airing. I'd been meaning to watch it while it was airing. Finished airing. We've been watching it. It is fantastic. It's 3D, but it's not bad 3D. They do a very good job blending 3D to... They don't do... I don't think they've done any 2D animation in the show itself. The ending and the opening have 2D animation, but the show itself has all been 3D as far as I've been able to tell. And they do a really good job of blending 3D with 2D tropes. So like facial expressions. I think there was chibi at a moment. Like one of the characters looked like a chibi for a few frames. But at the same time, I feel like in the 2020s, doing a musical anime where you've got guitars and drums and everything, it is very fine to use 3D. We're at a point where it looks good. I just wish that they would stop doing like 30 or 60 FPS for 3D animation. I feel like 24 frames does a lot. Like, movies are shot at 24 FPS for a reason. anime, of course. A lot of shows on standard film, or even digital still, are at a lower FPS for a reason. And I feel like Japan hasn't really understood that pulling back the frames allows for more style. I think the best 3D is still Studio Orange, and the new Trigun has been like the pinnacle of 3D anime so far. Girls Band Cry is fantastic. The characters are incredible. Where the story's going, I am so excited for. If it continues being gay, if it's like a full-on Yuri situation, I'll probably make a separate video about it, dissecting the girls. This isn't something to sleep on. Definitely go watch it. And finally, Free Ren. Free Ren is my favorite anime of the year. I had so much that I wanted to say about Free Ren. There's just something about her that I feel like really connected with. How she's been through so much. How she's got like the things that she loves and that she's always after. How she just wants like magic tomes, but also like she has her silly moments where she's like just cheeky. You know, everything about her, like even like her pitfalls, like it's just like, you know, can you blame her? She obviously has like the one thing that she cares about. But the show also has like this sense of wonder, and I don't know if it's the setting or the characters or the magic, but it feels like this enhanced level of spectacle that, I don't know, there's magic in other things. There's wonder in other things. Something about it reminds me of my favorite, one of my favorite Ghibli movies, Howl's Moving Castle. Just how, even through everything, Sophie and Hal like have these moments where like there's just these beautiful things happening. But what Howl's Moving Castle doesn't have, that Free Ren does, is like this longevity. And it's probably just because I'm older now, that I feel so connected to Free Ren. But the way she's like gone through her life, and because she lives for so long, she just ages everybody out. She lives longer than every group that she could end up with. I just feel connected with how she has lost more than she realizes. I've had a lot of friend groups fall out over the years. My best friend that I had, that I thought we'd be able to handle everything together, I lost her. Everybody's still alive, nobody's died, but like when you don't get to talk to anybody, you don't get to talk to those people anymore, and you think back on like stuff that's happened, it's just sad in a way that you can't put into words. And Free Ren like realizing this somewhere along the way, and then being like, oh my god, that she has this way that she might be able to go see her friends again, the people that she partied with, the people that she defeated a demon king with. It's a catharsis that I want to see come to fruition. I'm connected with this fucking dork in just like how she's just like mellow about a whole lot, how how she has like this older view on things. And granted, some of it should change with the times. I'm always trying to look to the people who are coming up behind me, to see like what they're doing, what they're joking about, what they're playing, what they're watching. I don't want to just stagnate in my ways. And she also has her serious side, be it like getting shit done or like sitting down and studying for years on end. I've connected with this too. I've only got an associate's degree, a 2-year degree if you don't live in the US. But those 2 years were so intense. I couldn't imagine doing more than that. And I think this side of her is really important because it shows that even somebody who's mellow, who would be jokey most of the time, can sit down and get stuff done when push comes to shove. A lot of people in my past have just thought that I was like the quiet type who didn't really care to like push forward or do more than the bare minimum or anything. And maybe for a while I acted like that. I lived my life like that because I didn't have outside expectations placed on me. And so I placed expectations on myself. I gave myself goals and things to do, things to work for. And it's just another component where I'm like, this character, I feel so connected. I just see myself reflected in her so much, just how melancholy she can be too. Just going through her days, having little joys here and there, whether it's finding a new simple spell, having a burger, seeing the stars again. But at the same time, you kind of feel that palpable melancholy underneath her. I prefer Frieren in Japanese because the tone of her voice, in English, Friren's voice sounds bored all the time, and I don't think that's right. In Japanese, there's this richness to her, but like this, it's just like muted. It's like she's seen and done so much that she's putting on an act for the people around her, and not just being straight out flat with her tone, if that makes any sense. I can't thank the mangaka enough for writing Frieren, and the animators for bringing it to life so beautifully. The only other character that I've felt like this connected to was Jill Stingray from Valhalla, the cyberpunk bartending game. And that was for like similar reasons, but also like a completely different set of reasons. They're both very different characters, but very similar at the same time. Frieren is probably my favorite anime. If it keeps getting animated and we see an ending, it might beat Bakemonogatari. It's just so special to me. Yeah. Let's move on to games. First up is Crab Souls, another Crab's Treasure. This game was so cute and so silly and very charming. I don't know, we didn't finish it. Playing Souls games and editing Souls games is a whole lot different than streaming Souls games. And I just got burnt out editing it once we started hitting bosses that took dozens of tries to kill. But I love the message that everything under the ocean is getting polluted. It's very important. Great setting, great character. Next is Killer Frequency. I loved this game so much. I played it with my good friend Luna. We got a really good ending. I don't know what to say. If you haven't seen it, go watch the playthrough on the channel. I loved this game so much. It's got so much style. The music is really good. The murder mystery is just like, oh, it's palpable. Next up, 9 Souls. This game oozed style, like no tomorrow. Like, oh my god, style. It's Metroidvania. I love my Metroidvanias. I didn't finish it. I want to finish it on stream, which I'll probably get around to after a couple other games that we're playing. Fantastic game. Can't wait to play more of it. Next up is Final Fantasy 16. This came out on PC finally. Played the demo and was hooked. Bought the game. I've played about 10 or 15 hours of the game and I love it. I want to finish it. I'm not sure if I want to stream it or not, but boy oh boy am I having so much fun. The way you attack, the way you... just everything, it's so much fun. Next up is Little Goody Two Shoes. Oh my god, what a game. This game's like trauma incarnate. If it's trauma digitized. Like being the other, proving that you're not the other. Like the tribesmanship in the town. Fucking Muffy, fucking Muffy, blackmailing you at every turn. Oh, this game does so many things and it does all of it great. Go play Little Goody Two Shoes. Next up is Content Warning. This game, I loved this. I had so much fun with this game. I'm hoping that this is a game that I'll come back to like every year or something and there'll be more content added. It felt like the, I don't know, 10 hours or so that I played, I'd seen everything that I had to see. We didn't buy every item. We didn't do everything. I feel like with these games like Content Warning and Lethal Company, where it's roguelike and you lose everything, it kind of takes the wind out of your sails when you like built up enough money to buy something that was like $300 and all it is like a dance emote or like some silly thing that doesn't actually like have any impact on the game. That sucks. I wish there was a way to store stuff. I think that's all that I can say would improve Content Warning. Just being able to save some of the more expensive stuff. Maybe there is, or maybe there was and we didn't figure it out, but overall I had so much fun. I laughed so much at so many things in this game. And the 2 videos that we made they're so silly. Next up, After Image, another Metroidvania. I haven't finished this, but I got most of the way through it. The world in this is pretty solid. The system with like the elementals or whatever, and then some of the recurring characters are charming. The main character is really charming. I feel like the plot at the beginning sort of went a little fast because like her village is burned or something. You're not sure. I'm not sure. It's not super explained and I feel like it's supposed to be something that you're supposed to uncover by the end of the game, but I didn't get to the end of the game. It's probably something that I'll pick back up, especially because I loved the combat. It had a lot going for it with the melee and the spells. Next up is Animal Well. This is Video Game Donkey's, his game studio's first release. From Big Mode, Animal Well. This is a cute little Metroidvania. The map it's large, but it's not that large once you go through all of it. It has a lot of really unique ways to traverse and interact with the world. I played this all the way through and I missed one thing for 100% completion. I think it took me like 10 or 15 hours. It was incredible. I definitely recommend it, especially because it's not that expensive. Go play Animal Well, please. please support Video Game Donkey and the developer who spent, I think they said the developer spent, the single guy who made this game spent 8 years or something on it. Go get in there. Support this guy. Support Donkey. Next up, Signalis. I played this last year, but I'm including it because, my god, it was fantastic, and my wife won't shut up about it. Rightfully so, though. I mean, space lesbian robots. How do you go wrong? Well, I mean, given how the story goes, I mean, it goes wrong, but still, like, just perfect setup for to draw people in like me, and then to be a little bit traumatized. I don't play Resident Evil style games where you survival horror, where you have to manage your inventory and shit, so I played on easy mode, the expanded inventory and like the flashlight and stuff not taking up inventory space. So I didn't have a whole lot of trouble with healing or bullets or carrying key cards to and from places. I don't exactly know what happens in this game. I just know that there's a lot of lesbians who have a lot of trauma who just need to hug each other and maybe dance. Yeah. Signalis is great. Go play it. Citizen Sleeper! Okay. I played this game. I got this game kind of on a whim in November. November? Yeah, at the end of November. And then I started playing it and was immediately hooked. I haven't been hooked on a game where I just needed to like get home and play it until completion in a long time. This is a fantastic... This is the best cyberpunk setting I've ever played. You're on a space station called the Eye. It's circular. It rotates to give artificial gravity. It has 3 spokes to a central spot. There's history, there's lore, there's tech, there's characters. Everything is so thoughtfully done. There's a lot of vagaries, but there's still like specifics in the vagaries to just like bring it to life. Everything that's vague, like your imagination fills in, and it's just, it makes this universe just pop. I can't wait for Citizen Sleeper 2. I'm going through a second playthrough on stream. The VODs are here on YouTube. Definitely go check it out. I love this game to pieces. I can't wait for Citizen Sleeper 2. I hope that it's of the same quality, that it doesn't get bogged down with specifics, that it stays... I want more of the same. I don't want them to change the formula, funny enough. Next up, I played this last year with Viola, but I want to include it here because I don't think I played a Yuri visual novel this year. Amelie. Amelie was fantastic. I loved this game. I loved the twists. I loved the different endings. I loved the true ending. I love... the characters are so well done. They're so cute. It's a short game too. We beat it in 2 episodes. I think it's like 2 hours, 2.5 hours to watch. Go check it out, please. Or go play the game. Just go play the game if you don't want to check out my video. Next up, almost my game of the year, Zenless Zone Zero. What do I say about Zenless? I'd been excited for this game since they announced it. I didn't get to do any beta or anything for it. I just waited for the game to come out. Downloaded it, played it. This game is free. You don't have to pay anything for it. You can if you want like more power, but you could just go in and play this banger of a game. You can experience the story, you can experience the characters. Even if you don't get to roll the characters that you want to use, you use them throughout the story. Eventually you're going to be playing as Nicole, Billy, and Anby. Eventually you'll be playing as Kaleda, the entire crew. you'll end up playing through as the Victorian housekeepers. You're not gonna go into this and be disappointed. I think the one thing that people don't understand about the Hoyo gachas is that they're not combat focused. The stories are front and center. Otherwise, these characters have no meaning. Like, they would just have a robot girl exist, and then you'd be like, oh, it's a robot girl, but she's got a story, a personality. They set these characters up, and they don't let them fail. They all have their spot in the story, and they all come. The climax of this first part was so good. I don't know how many millions of dollars, how many billions of dollars Hoyo has made across Honkai 3rd, Genshin, and Star Rail, but I am so glad that they were able to create this game. This game is so fun. It's so well written. The characters are charming. All of the artwork, all of it, it's got so much style. It's got so much presence. It's got so much care and detail put in. Give it a try. You should give it a try. You don't have to pay anything. It's free. Download it. Play it up to like level 20 or something. See what I'm talking about. Figure out how to do the parry system. I don't know what to call it. It's got an actual name, but I don't care about specifics like that. I just play the game. I press the buttons and I go, ah! And finally, my true game of the year is In Stars and Time. This game was so special. God, this game had me fucking going. Ugh. I'm so glad that I played this game. I love these characters. I love all the interactions that I've seen. I love everything that I learned about them. I was a little worried towards the middle to the end, as I was doing all the time loops, if the ending would land. I was legitimately like starting to get a little bit worried because I'd been doing like the same thing. Not the same thing. I'd been going through the same motions over and over again to progress the story. And that's what the game wants you to do, right? But it reached a point where it was like, is this actually going to be worth it? And then it ends, and then the catharsis. I missed some stuff, so I didn't get like one interaction, I've been told. But this was a very special story. And I think this calls back to what I love about Frieren, is that this is a found family. They just love each other. And Sif, the main character, is just trying to keep it together, to not lose it, which is half of the problem, that Sif doesn't want to lose their family. And there's just so much detail in the simplicity of this that we only get to see like once in a while. I think before I started playing, somebody mentioned that it was like Undertale in a way, and I have to agree. It's got those vibes. It's so good. Go play this game. Do yourself a favor. Find out who these characters are. Cherish them like everybody else who's played this game does. Find a way to save them and protect them. Best goddamn game that I played all year. Alright, that's everything. Thank you so much, everybody. Stay safe, wash your hands, and as always, sweet dreams. I love you all.